Look at this photo, man. You know the guy in the middle? Big moment for him.
Oh, yeah.
This was Michael Jordan's 5th championship, 1997, when he won that thing, right? We all know his story. They made a whole documentary about this. This was the year before he went on for his last dance, right? Not many people know about that guy who's standing right on the left of him. That guy.
Yeah, who is that?
Dude, he has the craziest story in NBA history, even crazier than Jordan. It's insane.
Really, who is this?
This guy on the left here, he joined the Bulls in the final 9 regular season games. He was their backup center. He was actually really good. He played like a big role for that team. Such a big role that when he won the championship, the Detroit Pistons offered him $40 million. But this guy, something was up. He walked away from the money. He retired from the NBA. And then 3 years later, he vanished. Nobody knows what happened to him, where he went. The FBI to this day has no idea.
Really?
It's insane, bro. You gotta hear the story. So this guy, his name was Brian Williams. If you were a basketball fan in the 90s, you'd remember that name. But that year was interesting for Brian Williams. 1997, he wins the championship. He also changed his name. He changed his name to Bison Dele. It's got some Native American roots he wanted to reconnect with. And he's an interesting guy. You know, everybody who knew him, his Clippers teammates, his Bulls teammates, they said he was a very thoughtful, very intelligent person, but he was also like deeply restless and like very uncomfortable. Like people talked about him as he was just a guy who like didn't really want what the NBA was offering.
He was uncomfortable, you said?
Yeah, like, you know, the NBA players, they live for the benefits. You live for the money, the fame, the status, the glory. None of this stuff interested him. And everybody who knew him thought that was genuine. Like he genuinely just didn't see the world the same way. And it's crazy because he was a hell of a player. He was their backup center in that 97 championship team. Steve Kerr said he was the most gifted athlete he'd ever seen. Like, this guy had a lot of endorsements. He played with Prime MJ. He played with Shaq. He dated Madonna. Like, he lived an insane NBA career. He had everything he wanted. He had a ring at 28 and $40 million right in front of him. And he decided it wasn't for him. He said, I don't want to do this. I don't want to live in this kind of life. And so the Pistons, he played about a 10th of the contract. He retired. He walked away from $36 million. He retired from the NBA at 30, had 1 ring, was in his prime, said, I'm good. He left the NBA and he became a pilot. He started flying around, went to Africa, went all over the world just to travel. He wanted to find himself. He wanted to live life.
Sounds like an interesting guy.
Interesting guy. There were some interesting things that happened along the way, though. There was a story when he was on the Pistons that he had intentions on the private Pistons jet to open the emergency hatch. Like he went through certain swings emotionally, mentally in his career that made people wonder if he was okay. There was a mental health thing going on here. And so he took himself out of it. He took himself away from the limelight, from the NBA, the pressures, the grind. He wanted to live his life. He made enough money. He wanted to travel. He wanted to enjoy his life, respectable. He wanted to do this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things became interesting. He became a pilot, did all that flying, and he said, you know what? I want to set sail. I want to be on the ocean. I want to go see the world like that. Well, he buys this 55-foot sailboat. It was called the Hakuna Matata.
Mm-hmm.
No worries, right?
Funny name.
Good name, right? Good name to set sail and have no worries. He got this boat, and then 3 years later, it was July 6, 2002. It was him, his girlfriend Serena, this French sailor named Bertrand, and then his brother, Miles DeBoard. Miles and him, an interesting relationship. Miles was an interesting guy. Everybody who was around them said that Miles was kind of this manipulative, dependent. He was like a parasite on Bison, and he would always manipulate and try to be around him and take from him, but that was the most of the relationship. But they were brothers, and they still wanted to work things out, so Bison invited Miles to this trip with his girlfriend and with this French sailor guy. They set out from Tahiti, they leave, then 3 weeks later, the boat comes back, and only Miles DeBoard is there.
Damn, that's crazy.
Nobody else came back on the boat. There was no signs of anybody.
That's pretty eerie.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. Then, not too long later, there was a transaction. Somebody claiming to be Bison Dele had purchased $150,000 worth of gold coins in Phoenix, not Tahiti. The family reported that Bison was missing, and then this sudden transaction happens in Phoenix. And so they find it was Miles DeBoard who did that transaction. And when they went to go talk to him, he claimed that he was buying it for Bison. He claimed that his brother had told him to make the investment and get gold for him. They found out it was a lie. They couldn't confirm it with Bison because nobody knows where he is.
Right.
And then suddenly, Miles was gone. He fled the country. He left again. He left Tahiti, then he went to Phoenix, and he left Phoenix. And then it took a while for the FBI to go find him. And eventually, they found him in Tijuana, Mexico. And they found him passed out, drug overdose.
Oh, wow.
They apparently think it was a suicide attempt. They brought him back to San Diego to see if they can get him treated and then talk to him. Like, what happened? Like, He never woke up.
Damn.
He died in San Diego. The FBI never got to question him. They never got to ask him about his brother, about the money, about what happened on that boat in Tahiti. Nothing. The only person who came back from that boat is now gone. So the FBI's biggest theory was Miles went on the boat with his brother's girlfriend, and that sailor guy, and he killed all three of them, and then dumped their bodies in the ocean, weighed them down, and that's why they could never discover the body. They never found the body. They never found any evidence of them actually being disappearing. The only thing that the FBI has is that Miles bought $150,000 worth of gold coins using his brother's money, and he tried to wire money. That's all they know. They have no other evidence or anything else from the boat. But there's one more person who's a part of this. She wasn't on the boat, but she has a story about what happened.
Who?
It was Miles' girlfriend. Her name was Erica. The FBI talked to her, and according to her, what happened was there was a fight that happened on the boat between Miles and his brother Bison. And apparently, when Bison's girlfriend Serena came to break it up, she got hit in that physical altercation, and it was fatal. So apparently, on that boat, the French sailor guy, Bertrand, who was there, wanted to call it in. Like, hey, somebody died here. Like, we have to phone this in. And apparently, according to Erica, which according to Miles is, Bison then killed the French guy to cover it up. And then Miles claims that he had to kill his brother out of self-defense because he was just killing witnesses at that point. It's an interesting theory, but then it makes you wonder, why didn't he come through with it? Why didn't he come up and talk about this if you're Miles? Why did you flee everything and try to take the rest of the money you can and then keep running away with it? Did you really think you wouldn't be able to persuade people if it wasn't the truth? And the FBI has no idea. They can't confirm her story, Miles' story, and they can't confirm what they think that Miles just killed all three of them. They have no idea. And it makes you wonder, like, we've seen a lot of athletes who become rich, live this life, and crazy things happen to them, right? Sometimes you retire and you leave the game so you can get away from the craziness, right? And I don't know, life can just still find you. The crazy can still find you. This guy played with prime Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
This guy could have been in The Last Dance.
He only played 9 games?
He played 9 games before the playoffs started, and he was their backup center. And he was good. Brian Williams, Bison Dele, he was important for them in 97.
Right.
They don't talk about him much. It's crazy.
I've never heard of him till now.
The question that I have is Erica telling the truth? I wonder, if she's saying what Miles just told her to say, what does she actually know? Does she really know the full truth? Is she only saying what Miles allows her to know? Or does she know there's something deeper? Like, did she lie about something here? I don't know. She's the only one we have to even talk about who's even remotely connected to any of this.
Yeah.
This is all 5 years after he won the title with Michael Jordan. And Brian Williams, Bison Dele was right there, right next to him in that part of history.
So he was not on the team for Jordan's 6th ring.
No, he could have been. Or he could have been in the Pistons facing Jordan, making way more money. He turned down both.
The story of Bison Dele. It's a cool name too.
It is a cool name.
It's a cool story.
I've never heard of an NBA player who just vanished. I've never heard of an NBA player who, like, we have no idea where they are, what happened to them. We have an idea, we have a story, we have guesses. We have no body, no nothing. There's nothing, we just don't know. He just disappeared from the face of the earth. You gotta remember this. We talk about all of Jordan's teammates. We talk about The Last Dance. We talk everything that people have ever talked about that era. And this story is probably the craziest. He played on a team with Dennis Rodman and Michael Jordan, and he went through a crazier next few years than both of those guys. Insane. If you enjoyed this episode and story about Bison, Dele, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode of Balcony Ball.